Hello and welcome to another episode of Jobless Weebs, episode 37. I'm Marco, the Virgo Mexican, and with me today,
Brian.
Hey Brian, how are you, Brian?
Pretty good. Taking every day one at a time. Yeah, because I'm figuring out my life currently. Yeah.
It's good to take breaks from time to time, whenever you can, so...
Yeah, it really helps.
This week was... I'm just glad it's over, and that we're here
It's
today
over.
once again to talk about anime.
Yes. Yep, where we can forget everything that's happened. Oh no. Yeah, from what you've told me, it's been a tough week.
Since I don't want to talk about how my week was, and probably you don't either.
Okay. Yeah.
We can jump right to the anime that we're going to talk about. And it's sports anime. And it's a fighting anime.
Yeah.
So it's a boxing anime.
Boxing anime. Yep.
But more than boxing anime, it's like a journey to learning to forgive yourself and to rely on others. Power of friendship, but more realistic.
Yes.
Not very anime-like.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Exactly. And a little bit of rivalry mixed in with that.
Yeah. And of course, a lot of drama.
A lot of drama.
But good drama. Not forced drama.
Because it's never really over the top. It's drama.
And it always, it's for character development, either for the main character or any of the other supporting characters.
Yes.
So the anime that we're going to talk about today is called Megalobox. It was released, the first season, on 2018. And the second season, that is called Nomad, on 2021, just last year on winter. It was also released on 2018 to celebrate the 50th anniversary of Ashita no Joe, which, if my memory serves me right, I think that was the first boxing anime.
No way.
Yeah, Ashita no Joe was released on 1973, I believe.
Wow.
Yep, 1973. Ashita no Joe is, I think, like, you've seen memes about it, because a lot of animes have made memes about the last scene from Joe, which I think if no other weeb has ever watched that, or any recent weeb has ever watched that, they can recognize this picture.
Oh, yes. Okay, I do recognize that. Yeah, I believe this is the particular image I remember, kind of a washed out.
That boxer that it's on a corner. I mean,
slumped over.
Yeah, that has been referenced in a lot of animes, a lot of like comedy animes especially.
Oh yeah, comedy anime. Yeah.
That was something that was related to, like, it's done for it. On this scene, I think I haven't watched much of it, to be honest.
Okay. Yeah, I haven't seen.
I did watch fragments of it, and I did watch the last episode, kind of like to spoil me.
Oh, really? Oh no!
But I think he dies.
But okay.
So,
yes.
So I think he dies. So he dies in the corner.
Over. Right.
After like having pretty much the best fight of his life, or his career as a boxer.
Oh yeah, and his whole career, which is a huge impact. For me, having not seen the show at all, but being able to recognize that, and even thinking to myself, oh yeah, this is the end when he's dead, when he dies. That's a huge impact just from that.
Ashita no Joe tell the story of this kid, because this anime pretty much follows Joe from his childhood up to his adulthood, and it's this guy who is, your standard kind of like shonen protagonist, which is not very good, so he has to work really hard to become a bit good.
Okay, a bit good. Sure.
Let's remember that
Yeah.
at least on the animes from 30, 40 years ago or 50 years ago,
Right.
like the
50 years.
protagonist a lot of times really had to work hard to get the skills, not like now that they have OP skills.
Yes, cheat skills and overpowered everything. Yeah. But yeah, so this is really in that tradition of you gotta work hard to achieve something.
Right. And so Megalobox was a commemoration for the 50th anniversary, and it follows the story of Joe.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And Joe.
Yeah, that was
another Joe.
Yeah.
So that's a callback too.
Pretty much.
All right.
Yeah, he chose the name Joe because initially he's called Junk Dog.
Yeah, Junk Dog.
And Junk Dog fights pretty much in underground fights, illegal fights of Megalobox in pretty much the outskirts of the city where Outlaw is the one that governs that part of where he is staying at. There's also the Fancy City where the legal Megalobox happens, but it turns out that Joe, he's not a citizen, so they don't go a lot about his background, but they just say that he just fights in these underground illegal fights. He doesn't even have a name of his own until he gets the name Joe.
And he gets paid for these fights, and he throws them too. Right?
He has to throw them.
Yeah, he has to throw. Okay. Right, because he's kind of like along with that no-name persona, Junk Dog. He's basically the trash of the underground city, the ring. And stuff.
Yeah, he's a nobody. He's partnered up with Nambu, which you could say is his coach.
Yeah.
I mean, Nambu is a very special character.
Yeah,
that,
he is.
He is the one that in the first season that has the biggest change of all. But Nambu is in a lot of debt, so he pretty much uses Joe to arrange the fights.
Yes.
And he tells him like, hey, you have to throw them because we will get more money. And especially I will get more money and I will get killed.
Yeah, because he's under the thumb of course, those debts. Yeah.
And so Joe is tired of throwing the matches. So one day he goes into the city and fell in the middle of the highway because there was a lady in there. And the lady who was being very nice. Well, not nice, but at least kind of like
prim,
you know what,
proper,
give me your name and I'll make sure to pay your bills. So for some reason he's also very hot-blooded. So he's like, so what are you? And like, you looking at that Megalobox stadium that they're building? That's garbage. That's not real Megalobox. It turns out that lady was the main sponsor of the Megalobox competition.
Yep.
And right next to her was Yuri, the next to be champion. And so they're like, okay, you want to go at it?
Right. So basically their reputation on the line.
Yeah, I mean, I would have done the same. Kind of like,
oh yes, yeah.
Dude, you just fell from your bike.
Yeah.
And you start insulting my line of work. It's like, who the heck do you think you are?
Oh yeah.
So nothing happens, and the story just takes up from there, because it was his screwed up that pretty much enraged the champion, made the champion to go into the underground fights, beat the crap out of him.
Oh yeah, like hands down. He basically knocks him out right away, and then he tells him, "Come back after you basically learn how to box."
Yeah, because Yuri went to his ring, to his underground ring. Then he tells like, "Well, you want to fight me again?" Like, go to my ring. Like, I don't know what you're gonna do, but do something.
Yeah.
And so the Megalobox championship is 3 months from then. And so Nambu, as the really skilled coach and manager that he is, he found that because of Joe's screwed ups, he was not making a lot of money. So he's like, okay, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna have the kid be in Megalobox. I just need your help. And he's talking to the mob boss.
Yep.
Like, yeah, just get us there, and then I'll pay you your money, and we're gonna be happy, and he's gonna be happy. So like, it's a win-win for all of us.
Yeah. So he's pretty much using this to settle his debts.
Yes. And so throughout the remaining episodes, I think that happens around episode 4 or 5. The remaining episodes, he has 5 fights because he is the lowest in the rankings.
Yeah.
So somehow he has to go from the 273 rank to rank 4 to be able to get in the semifinals. Kind of like everything kind of like works a bit too good, and that's not good for a plot.
Yeah. It's pretty smooth for a little while there, I would say.
They encounter pretty much people trying to take advantage of the fact that they were underground fighters, so they get threats from them, so they could forfeit the fight.
Yeah.
They also get threats again from the mob boss to throw fights again now in the competition.
Yeah. There's also an old student of Nambu who comes and tries to like wreck Joe over which is a little later, but yeah, that's also a pretty big highlight, I would say.
Yeah, it's a pretty big highlight because a lot of old ghosts come back to hunt them.
Yeah.
Either Nambu or the kid, which there's a kid that helps them a lot with kind of like a lot of engineering aspects.
Yeah.
For their exoskeletons.
That's right, for the gears, which is fascinating. They use exoskeleton arms basically in their fights.
Except Joe, he's called Gearless Joe.
Yeah.
Probably we should have started with that.
Oh yes, yeah, maybe. Yeah, Gearless Joe. So yeah, his persona in this Megaloboxing tournament, going up the ranks, is that he's like a no gear man fighting these people with gear. So yeah, it's also a hype thing for the audiences.
And that's how he becomes famous. And how also
he's gaining
gains popularity, momentum, and how a lot of people ends up supporting him because he's like, okay, this dude came up from the lowest rank.
Yeah.
With no gear.
Nowhere. Yeah.
Out of nowhere.
So it's like he's the underdog, literally, and everybody roots for him because of that.
Yeah, which is always the best option. Like, the underdog always has an advantage because it's like you don't expect a lot.
Yeah.
But still you want to root for him.
Yeah.
He manages to gain people's hearts and all of them start to support him. And all the stuff that happened behind the curtains, like away from the fights, that's interesting. I mean, the fights, the animation is...
Oh yeah, those are amazing. I think they really nailed the animation. They're definitely the highlights with all the punches they throw. Oh, it's so exciting. Yeah, I would say all those behind the scenes things that happen, and like getting all those threats and things. I think those really frame the overall character development for them. I think it provides a really good like dramatic background for these fights.
Each character has a character development. I mean, Sachio, the kid, starts having a character development from the early episodes where he is stealing gears to then analyzing the gears of his opponents, so he knows like which tactics to use, to then also seeking refuge from the lady
Ah.
from Shirato,
Mhm.
because they were being threatened by the mob boss,
Right.
or Nambu, which went from pretty much not believing in Joe, just believing in the
right.
money that he could generate,
Yeah. To cover his own butt.
to
Yeah.
pretty much put his eye on the line.
Right. Literally putting his body out there for Joe.
And believing in him that he was the real deal.
Yeah.
And Joe didn't really grow a lot.
Right.
He pretty much like remained true to himself and to what he wanted to accomplish.
Yeah.
He was just a stubborn person.
He's very stubborn. Yeah, I would say that. Yeah, that's always been with him. That's for sure. Always that lone wolf kind of persona.
It was a lone wolf that received help from others. And that became like the dream. That's why he became a legend, because he had a lot of support despite his stubbornness to keep fighting until he knocked out Judy. And they didn't show it. That was the best thing, because
they didn't
a lot of times you were waiting for like the knockout or whatever.
Yeah,
they just showed the moment they were about to hit each other, and then they just like
they cut
flash forward like 1 year, and it's like, what the heck happened?
That was so thrilling, I think, because it continues with that narrative. Like, you see the different characters, where they are, what they're doing, but yeah, and then you see like Yuri, and you also see Joe, but then it's like at the very end, where you see like the text, and it just says like how, like the rounds, the time, and then like Gearless Joe won by KO. And that's it. It was so cool. But yeah, it just cut off from that scene in the last round where they're about to hit each other. Oh, that was so cool. Wow.
Yeah.
So cool.
And that was season 1. And you know what?
Yeah,
I was happy with that.
Yeah.
It was already one of my favorite shows.
Yeah, so good.
Because
I really liked it.
Since it's an original one, so there's no mangas. It was just made to celebrate another boxing anime from 50 years ago. And I didn't know that at the time.
Oh, me neither. Yeah.
And I was like, that's a good boxing anime. I had heard about other boxing animes.
Oh, yeah.
Like Ashita no Joe, which I had never watched. And one that I've watched that it's also kind of long, not as long as Ashita no Joe, that is called Hajime no Ippo.
Ippo, that's right. Yeah.
And Hippo is from the 90s.
Okay, yeah. Also
80s or 90s. So
yeah.
And Hippo is pretty similar, because it also takes Hippo from his younger days to when he's already a professional. I haven't finished watching that one. But I felt somehow that Joe was already it has a goal of where to be, and he managed to accomplish that goal, and that was it. That was the story. 12 episodes that were great.
Yeah.
In comparison with the other episodes that I'm saying that they were bad, they were just like your standard shonen anime with different objectives every arc.
Yeah, and it changes, and those are pretty long series, right? I want to say 50 plus episodes.
Hajime no Ippo, it's more than 100, I believe.
More than 100. Okay.
Let me check.
But yes, yeah, Megalobox. It is a very simple, clear-cut story. Joe going from basically the curb and working his way to the top.
So Hajime no Ippo is 126 episodes. Ends up being 3 seasons. And Ashita no Joe has 129 episodes.
Ooh.
So just a couple more.
Yeah. Both very big. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, in comparison.
Oh, yeah. In comparison. Yeah. It's huge.
And so if Megalobox season 1 would have been it, I I would have died happy.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
But then,
Mhm.
I mean, on winter 2021, I
Yeah.
was just like browsing what to watch, and then I saw
Mhm.
Megalobox Nomad, and I was like, "What the
Nomad.
heck
Oh
is this?"
my, yeah. It just was amazing when they announced it because it was like season one was like an awesome story in itself. But yeah, Nomad, it takes it just a little bit farther.
Yeah, and so Nomad has a different objective.
Mhm.
Nomad is not really about the fighting. This is where Joe actually has his character development. And Nomad starts from Joe. I mean, if you thought that when the Megalobox season one started, if you thought
Yeah.
that Joe was on rock bottom,
Yeah.
then Nomad episode one is Joe way, 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 way rock bottom.
Oh no. Mhm.
So the events of Nomad happen at least after the fight. I mean, I was doing the math, and after the fight with Judy, I think it happens around 6 or 7 years later.
Oh. Oh wow. Yeah. Okay.
And so the kids are no longer kids. They don't show up until like episode 5, because
Really?
Joe, he's again doing
Ah.
underground fights.
Oh, okay.
He looks like a homeless man.
Oh. Well, I mean, more than he did
I
in
mean,
the first season.
he
Okay.
looks like a
Yeah.
ripped homeless man.
Oh,
Like-
okay. Okay. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I still haven't seen the second season, but um, the yeah, that's pretty sad to hear.
Okay,
Oh man.
okay, yeah, you're just making this interesting
Okay.
for me, just so I don't spoil
Mhm.
anything, but still give you a good overview.
Ah. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so season 2, it's Joe in his lowest point that he has ever been before. He is not in the city where season 1 happened. He's somewhere else wandering,
Hmm.
and there is one person that I want to say that he was Mexican that helped him, even though they don't say it, but I want to say he's Mexican because anyways, you'll figure it out why.
Yes. Yes.
But this Mexican guy
Yeah.
helps him go through his really, really bad slump, and literally pulls him out of that dark place. And all the time that he spends with this Mexican guy just like gets him to realize what he was doing, and also gets him the chance to start forgiving himself for the thing he did a few years back, between the last
time.
fight and the present.
Okay. Okay. So it does change quite a bit then.
Yeah.
With
So
him.
so Joe is having hallucinations
What?
of a certain person, and he's not in a good shape to fight or to be alive.
Mm.
As he's being helped by this Mexican guy, he's slowly helping back the Mexican guy, because the Mexican guy, there were some like people, a town where they used to live, where they were not welcome. So the Mexican guy was fighting in behalf of their town. So once they managed to save the town, he decides to come back and pretty much, like accept the responsibilities and the consequences of leaving and taking bad decisions. And this comes from decisions that the Joe from season 1 took, because it was the stubborn Joe in his desires of doing good. He ended up forsaking everything that he had worked for So that's why everything went to crap.
Okay.
So he decides to come back, and no one wanted him back.
Oh, no freaking way.
And with no one, I mean no one. Not even the mob boss.
Okay. Wow.
So
This is pretty terrible for him.
it is pretty terrible
Yeah.
because he, for a time, he is basically like homeless because he comes back to the gym, and
Okay.
they mentioned that the gym was destroyed 1 year before that.
Oh, that's sad.
Due to
Nowhere.
Gym Nowhere was destroyed
Yeah.
due to a typhoon, and
What
so
the-
he
Okay.
returns to some
Okay.
ruin of a gym, and he decides to start, building it back from whatever was left.
Whoa.
And since he is not welcome,
Yeah.
he is pretty much hated by the kids, by
Really?
old friends, and even by, well, not by Judy, but he would still get the cold shoulder from Judy.
From Yuri. Okay. Well, that's really sad because Yuri respected him from the previous fight. Oh, that's really sad.
This is the part where he actually learns to now be the support for others. Kind of like in contrast of the first season, where he was being supported by everyone else. This is the time where he is slowly giving his support to others, even though they don't want it because they don't trust him. So he's like, you know what? I know you hate me, but just accept my help, and then I'll be on my way. And so everyone starts to slowly open up to him again. Another side of the story, there are two boxers, the new champion, which is Yuri's pupil.
Oh, okay.
And
so Yuri's coaching then.
Yeah. And another boxer that is called a local hero, that he has a computer chip in his brain to allow him to move his body, because he ended up being paralytic after an accident.
Oh my!
So this computer chip allows him to gain control again over his limbs.
Oh my! Which fits really well since it's a very futuristic type of anime with the exoskeletons.
I mean, it kind of remind me of Elon Musk's Neuralink.
Oh, okay.
Has been experimenting with animals, but I mean, in this one, it was a person. But even I would think that they probably grabbed that. They're that sounds futuristic. That sounds cool. Let's put it in the anime.
Oh yeah. Oh, totally. Yeah, kind of like a far off futuristic thing, but it could be believable. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, is it the brain chip? Is it from the same company as Yukiko?
From Shirato?
Shirato. That whole company?
Yes, kind of. They're partnered up with a new company that appears that is called Roscoe.
Okay.
And so they're partnered up. Like Roscoe is kind of like the brains, and Shirato is kind of like the infrastructure.
Sure. Yeah. Well, she is kind of like almost the cutting edge of the gear.
Yeah.
The gear tech and another tech from the sound of it. Yeah.
Judy's pupil, it's called Liu, I believe. And the fighter from Shirato and Roscoe, his name is Mac.
Oh, okay, cool. The names are really awesome.
Yeah.
Mac.
These two fighters, they share a deep connection with Joe. One of them, Liu, because he beat Joe on an exhibition match, which Joe lost, and from there he went down. And so
that's connected history.
Liu is kind of like obsessed with Joe, because Joe didn't really give the fight that he gave Judy.
Oh.
So he's been pretty much haunted by the fact that he is not called Liu, the champion. He's called Liu, Judy's pupil.
Quite a bit of resentment there.
So yeah, he has some sort of resentment with Joe and Mac, which at the beginning of the second season, it appears that he is watching the fight that Joe is having with Judy from like 5 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And then he says like, yeah, that's place not for me. And so he leaves. And then now that he's a contender for the championship, so he also has this dream or light of hope that Joe showed to a bunch of people that were the underdogs. These two connections pretty much are for the rest of the anime.
Yeah.
Because these two connections are the one that finish the character development of Joe.
Okay, one with resentment, and the other with kind of like
a hopeful light,
hopeful you're my hero type of thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because first with Liu, he kind of like finishes forgiving himself, and then he's ready to kind of like ask for forgiveness for the kids because what he did was bad. I mean, he left. I mean, that's not a spoiler because.
Oh right, because Joe. Yeah, it almost sounds like he tosses away that life that he built.
Yeah.
In the first season. Well, I mean, however we look at it, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah. Okay.
And second, with Mac, he learns that he was the source of a lot of dreams and hopes.
Yeah.
Because.
Yeah.
So this is probably a spoiler, but he has a fight with Mac on the final episodes, and Max tells him like, hey, you know what, you're gonna be my hero, always. It's like, no matter what happens in these fights, like you are the hero that gave me hope, and then it kind of like clicks him, like, oh, yeah, I shouldn't have done that crap. But then you realize that he had to do that crap in order for him to really change, because otherwise he would have stayed the stubborn Joe.
Oh yeah.
From first season, kind of like didn't really show any growth.
Right. Okay, I see. But then having lost everything, basically hitting rock bottom, and then I'm assuming trying to climb back up, having someone say you'll always be my hero. Yeah, that would like, so that like completed it for Joe. It made him recognize kind of who he was for others too. I like that.
And the ending is actually one of the best endings that I've ever watched for a sports anime. It was so satisfactory because nobody died.
Oh, okay, that's a relief. Oh, man.
Yeah, unlike Ashita no Joe, like nobody died, and he had a happy ending. Like every character had a happy ending. Well, except for the antagonist, which I don't really talk a lot.
Oh, okay.
But the antagonist have a lot to do with Mac.
Okay.
Because Mac is pretty much been used as a lab rat.
Really? With a brain chip.
Yeah, as a guinea pig.
Mm.
And the antagonists are Roscoe, the Roscoe company.
The company, okay.
And Shirato again. I mean, Shirato didn't want to, but she kind of like got Yukiko kind of like got dragged into it.
Oh, that's sad. Well, right. I'm assuming with like company politic type.
Yeah.
In the infrastructure type things. Gotcha.
Yeah, and throughout the anime, you see this antagonist, and at the beginning you see him as like, oh yeah, he seems like a nice guy, and then it's like, oh, I hope you whatever happens to you in jail, it's not nice because
What?
yeah,
Wait. So like like betrayal and all that type of stuff.
not exactly, but
Oh,
yeah,
man.
like straight up bad guy stuff
Ah,
that makes you
yeah,
hate the character for what he's doing,
yeah.
but at the same time you like it.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you like him because he has a very peculiar opinion about the future,
Okay.
about how you can move
Huh.
forward to the future, which is like that's messed up. But I see your
sounds like
point.
it sounds like the antagonist in Promare.
Oh, okay, the movie,
Huh?
the movie,
Oh yes, yeah, the
Okay.
movie, yeah, in Promare, yeah, with the burnish.
kind of like you're, yeah, the Thanos guy is like. I get what you mean.
Oh,
That
right.
we need to erase half of the population.
The whole Thanos.
But that's messed up.
Thanos debate. Yeah, it is messed up. Yeah. Okay. So I'm guessing Yukiko has to like battle with that and kind of figure out some stuff for herself too.
Yeah, Yukiko also has some character development.
Oh,
They didn't.
That's cool.
They don't really show a lot,
But
but she for sure does, and
right.
she has a dramatic change
Oh,
rather at
okay.
the end.
Okay, I like that because I liked her in the first season, but yeah, I felt like for her she was more of just like an observer in the first season. That's cool. She continues to show herself in the second season. Oh yeah,
It's really good. It's
it's
on my favorite list. In my opinion, I liked it more than. I know it was a celebration of another anime. But it was like, yeah, for some reason I liked more the celebration than the other anime.
Oh yes. Well, yeah, Megalobox. Yeah, it is. It's rare to see boxing anime. They're throughout the last few years, I would say. Yeah, it's wonderful. It was a wonderful show. I think really gets the energy pumping.
Yeah, I guess what
It's
I
really
liked
cool.
the most was that more than the fighting, they gave something else to look forward to, and kind of like I've noticed that a lot of sports anime that I like ping pong the animation or Marsh
Haikyuu.
comes in like an ion. Haikyuu, I think Haikyuu is mostly about the sport, but the sport is very intense, so that's one of the good points. Or even like Chihayafuru, which is like about the cards,
Yeah.
because they do show stuff about like what the sport is about, but kind of like they also show some internal conflicts and drama and character development from the characters. So it's like, okay, it's not everything about
it's not just about the sport. Yeah.
They show more about their lives of these players and what they do. So yeah, that was great. And yeah, if you have a chance to watch it, the first season, I know for sure that it's on Netflix and also Crunchyroll, I think.
I think so.
And the second season must be available on Crunchyroll, maybe. If not, there are other ways.
Yeah, definitely recommended. Really good series.
All right, and that was it for today. We encourage you to watch Megalobox.
Yeah.
Or any of the other boxing animes if you have time.
Sure. If you have time.
Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you next week and keep watching anime.
Yep, keep watching anime. Oh, and Nier Automata announcement for an anime show.
Oh yeah, we're probably gonna talk about that next episode.
All right. Yes. So excited.
All right. See ya.